Hello, today is the 11th day of November, which also happens to make it then Veterans Day. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Our word today is segregation. It's one of the last words in this chapter, so we would have just about covered them all now, which is good because tomorrow's our quiz. Reminder. Segregation is the social separation of groups of people. So they're especially by race. So different groups settling in different places by choice or by force. And so segregation, sometimes people like to be places where they have others that have their same culture, their same that speak the same language, that eat the same foods. So sometimes you see, like in New York, we'll talk about in a couple of chapters that there will be little Italies or Chinatowns that develop because people want to live by their people that have the same culture as them. You'll have pockets of Germans and pockets of Irish and different ethnicities. But segregation in this case is really referring to forced, that you have no choice. So in the North, African Americans were required to live in certain areas. People would not rent to them or let them buy places outside of those areas. Those were, African American Black neighborhoods. In the South, segregation was because of slavery. There was completely separate, thought of as different classes of people. Now, why is it important to the time period? Because it helps remind us about slavery and about the racism that existed. It's going to then bleed into the present, into further, like 100 years later. This is one of the things that Martin Luther King and all of the civil rights leaders are going to work towards ending, is this social separation. So that's an important word. We'll come back to it multiple times this year. Our target for today is to identify areas of the chapter that you understand and parts that you don't. There are three main parts of this chapter: the inventions that were created, and you had a worksheet on that where you had to rank them and look up a little bit of information. The vocabulary, which is the Quizlet, has all of that. And then the differences between the North and the South. And that was, we did some of that last week with our double bubble map and the pie charts. And so there's lots of information, but those are the three areas. The first thing we did was watch a quick video on Veterans Day. I do not have it in our Schoology, but if you would like to watch it, it is right here. You can Google, do a search for History of the Holidays, History of Veterans Day. It's from the History Channel. And Veterans Day is a day to recognize those people that served in our military in peacetime, in wartime, that they volunteered, gave up their own time to serve our country in some respect. So I am encouraging everybody to say thank you to a veteran, somebody that you may know, a neighbor, a family member. Just say thank you and talk to them. They may not want to talk about their experience. I know my dad doesn't, but at least saying thank you, because we get to do our daily stuff and not think about or worry about what's happening outside of it because of what those people, what they sacrifice for us, their time, their family, spending time with their family, their safety, their well-being. They sacrifice that for us. So tell them thank you. After that, then we did some vocabulary practice. And if you go into the division of the North and South, the purple folder, right there at the top is the Quizlet. And I wanted everyone to practice the flashcards at least twice, then play a couple games around it, maybe do it more if you haven't. Just make sure you're understanding those words. You can recognize them and be able to match them up on the quiz. And then we did a Quizlet Live, kind of hard for you to do to practice, but just, again, a little bit more practice. After that, we took the practice quiz. I want everybody to do that at least twice. It's set to be open to take as many times as you want, so go ahead and do that. And there is another one. This is just another practice that we did very quickly after we finished the pie chart. So this is the practice quiz that has the inventions of vocab, that has a little bit of everything on it. So that's what I want you to focus on. And then you'll be able to see a percentage of how you did. You can review your answers, all of that. And then finally, after that, I'm trying to review back. Oh, we did the practice quiz, and then we did a Kahoot review. So make sure that you are doing that as well. Sorry, you can't do the Kahoot review. That's not going to work. I was thinking of the review guide, sorry. So I want to pull up. Of course, I can't find oh, there it is, review guide. And you know what? I could have gone through here to show you where the review guide is. The review guide is almost at the bottom, right here, Division of the North and South Review Guide. When you open it up, you can print it off. You can do this on paper. It's completely up to you. But this review guide helps you to think about the North and the South. So here's the worksheet. On the front side, you're listing characteristics that describe the North. There's a whole bunch of them. And then why did the North not have slavery? Use the chart to help you with that. Beyond, because we know that there was racism and there was segregation, there was oppression in the North, but why did they not economically have slaves? And then the second one is for the southern region to do that. So again, you can easily do this on a sheet of paper if you don't have this at home. And then why did the South have slavery? Mostly think about economically, like why did they have it? And then how are they connected? Like how are they similar and how are they different? To answer this, you probably are going to need a lot of things that you have in your folder. I would guess you're going to need your double bubble map. You're going to need a couple of worksheets that we did. This information sheets right here are super helpful. And then there's a little bit, we did the slavery in the South. And so you might be able to take some things from the different, your hours and how they described life as a slave. And then down here, the technology change and impact, that was something that you read about each piece of technology. So you could review back to that to see who it impacted more. Here's the reading for it, and then the playlist for listening to it. Again, I've got more stuff on mine than you do yours. And then you could watch the first half of The Story of Us again if you wanted to. There's a wealth of information, and your textbook. Chapter 18 is really the best place to go to. So if you want to just listen to the textbook, you can do that too. There's a ton of different resources. It's a fairly big quiz. It's 27 points, 20 to 27 points. I can't remember exactly how many in between there, but make sure you're prepped for it. It's pretty straightforward. So we're looking for divisions of North and South. We're looking for vocabulary, and we're looking for the inventions and what they were and who they impacted. That's really this chapter wrapped up in a nutshell. If you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, we will take the quiz tomorrow, so make sure you're ready to go. I do plan to have everybody take it. So if you're gone today, make sure you're viewing this. Hopefully you are, and that you're going through that materials. And come talk to me in the morning if you have questions. All right, have a great day.